If you live anywhere near an HOA, you know the type: clipboard, brimmed sunglasses, and a personal crusade against the very concept of neighbor. In our case, that was Karen. She ran the association like a tiny fiefdom, and her son Kyle behaved like royalty in training. Loud trucks, entitlement, and the uncanny belief that other people's property existed to serve his convenience. My driveway has one reserved spot. It's been mine since day one, purchased with the deed signed, notarized, the whole adulting package. For 3 months, Kyle treated it like his personal valet. Every morning he'd barrel up, wedge his Porsche into my space, sprint up the sidewalk to his mom's car, and stomp off as if he'd performed a public service. I tried the friendly route first. A polite note on his windshield. A conversation with his mother at the HOA bake sale. "Just park a little further down," I said. "It's getting old."
Karen's smile froze.
"My son is busy," she said, like that explained everything. "He'll move it later." "He'll move it later" became an art form.
The Porsche stayed. The notes multiplied.
I started recording timestamps on my phone. Warnings got stapled to his windshield.
The HOA? Quiet. Karen?
Miffed whenever I looked at her. Everything changed the morning my wife lost a critical early morning interview because she couldn't get to work, blocked in by Kyle's morning parade of entitlement. That's when I stopped smiling. But I'm not a monster. I also don't break the law. I went the painfully boring bureaucratic route. I dug out the property documents showing the spot was private and reserved. I ordered official no parking, reserve signs and had them professionally installed with permits. I called the county codes office and asked what the legal remedy was for repeated unauthorized parking on private property. They told me the tow company route, if properly posted and followed, was the lawful path. I posted the formal notices required by law, recorded dates, and gave Kyle a final courtesy call.
He laughed. He parked anyway.
So I called a licensed towing company, the one recommended by the county, and booked a private property tow after the next violation. The driver came at 8:05 a.m., right after Kyle had strutted off. He towed the Porsche, documented the pickup, and took it to the legal impound yard the county uses. I did everything on the record: photos, timestamps, signed releases. The tow sheet even had Kyle's name on it as the registered owner, so nothing could be misinterpreted. What really broke the kid was what came next. Instead of racing to the impound lot and paying the release fee, Kyle called his mother, then tried to sick the HOA, the police, and the world on me. Karen called 911, because of course, stomped into my yard, and attempted to public shame me on camera. The tow company handed her a copy of the notice I'd posted, the permit for the sign, and the tow release documentation. The deputy who came politely told her the law was on my side. Kyle didn't pay the impound fees.
He didn't pick up the Porsche.
The county keeps impounded vehicles for a statutory period. After the legal window, if the owner doesn't claim the vehicle and fees aren't paid, the impound lot follows the rules for disposition. The paperwork I demanded, and insisted the tow company file, made the whole process transparent. After repeated notices to the registered owner went unanswered, the impound lot auctioned the vehicle off, a common legal outcome. The auctioned unit went to a salvage buyer, who assessed it as beyond economical repair. It was scrapped pursuant to the salvage rules, not by me, not by vigilantes, but by the chain of custody the county requires when a vehicle is abandoned. When Kyle learned his Porsche had been sold for salvage, he turned bright red. When he learned that it had been scrapped, he turned silent. Karen, who had marched the neighborhood with righteous fury and a camera crew of one, went from fury to frozen disbelief. She demanded refunds, litigation, apologies. The only thing she got was the paperwork trail proving the law had been followed to the letter. The HOA board had to have a meeting. Neighbors I'd chatted with for years stood up and testified how often Kyle had abused the spot, how the board had been slow to act, and how Karen had spent association funds on PR instead of fixing problems.
The vote?
Karen was removed as president for dereliction and for making the HOA look worse than the problem it tried to solve.